Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Marion County Judge Executive David Doherty for an update on the fiscal court meeting, which occurred on March the 5th. In spite of all the bad weather that we got on Thursday morning here in Central Kentucky, county business is still going on. The county building and offices were closed during the day, but you still had your fiscal court meeting that afternoon, right?
That's correct, Gary. We sure did. We had a lot of things on the agenda that we needed to get taken care of, so we decided to go ahead and have it. All the magistrates were able to make it except for one. He was under the weather, so it went well.
Now, of course, as I said, it was a snowstorm that day in the morning. So let's first talk about that, because that was kind of a lot of the information had to do with the weather. As we're recording this on Friday, a lot of the roads are getting cleared away, but there's still some work to be done, right?
Correct. They're currently trying to repair. We had a couple of vehicles break down. We've had one even before the storm that was out of commission, so we're in the process of trying to get everything back and going. They're trying to get the roads. The gravel roads right now is where our biggest concern is. We've all the blacktop roads in the county have been gone over a couple of times. Leaving the gravel roads for last is usually how we have to do it. They're the ones that are the most difficult to try to keep clean. So we're back today, kind of backtracking, doing our bad spots and hitting the gravel roads.
So you were mentioning some of these trucks. The trucks that needed service were actually some of the ones that you would normally use to do some of this this work on the roads. Is that right?
We actually had one after the last storm a couple of weeks ago. There, it had some major issues, and we got it back, and it wasn't fixed. So we had to send it back. So that left us one short for this storm totally. So what that does is puts more burden upon the rest of the drivers. They got to pick up the area that truck normally got. So Tommy usually has, each driver has their own route. So that route had to be made up through the rest of the drivers. So, but it worked out fine.
Now, I know some of the roads in the counties are county roads and they're maintained by county
Correct.
employees, but you actually have several state highways around the area, and there's been some that they haven't been touched as quickly as some of the county roads.
Yeah, anything with a yellow line in the middle is not a county road, and a lot of people have called about a lot of roads that are really not even ones that we have to take care of. Private roads we're not responsible for. A lot of folks think if there's a sign on the road sometimes that we are responsible. We try to hit all we can, but like I say, some of the state roads, they've had some major issues, which they're kind of shorthanded also. They've only got 4 trucks to what way I understand, so they're doing all they can do. They've worked hard also, and they've done a great job too.
Okay. So again, it's Friday as we're working on this, and fortunately the weather is supposed to turn for us on Saturday, come to get warmer from that on, so that will help with a lot of this snow as well.
Exactly. It looks like today it's anytime the sun comes out they thaw out, but what happens there the next morning, it gets cold again and you have your black ice issues. So you know, for the next few days, make sure in the mornings you don't get in a hurry. Just take your time and plan ahead.
Okay. Now, also there was other business that was taken care of during the fiscal court meeting on Thursday, March the 5th, and one of them is with a road down in Loretto, actually by Maker's Mark. You had some people who were appointed to kind of be a viewer, I think they're called, for road work being done down there. And who are the viewers for that road?
The viewers were former Judge John G. Mattingly and Tom Lund, Economic Development. And they give a report at the meeting on their thoughts on how the new road would affect positively or negatively the county. So they did do that. John G. was under the weather yesterday, so he had a report already. So he didn't report at the meeting, but he did have a report.
So the new road that we're talking about, tell us a little about where that is and why it came about occurring.
It's on Highway 52. It's about 4/10 of a mile before you get to the current Burke Springs Road entrance. With all the growth that Maker's Mark is having, if you go down there on any day and go down Burke Springs Road, you typically meet a semi, which is causes a lot of trouble. I mean, it's not a very wide road. Burke Springs Road's a pretty narrow road, so it was causing some issues with the growth of the plant. So what they've done is went up on top 4/10 of a mile, and they put a wider safer, easier to pass road to get to Maker's Mark Distillery. They've also added some parking lots down there. I mean, they intend to grow quite a bit in the next few years. So in order for them to grow, they did need this road to make it easier to get to their facility.
And is that a county road?
It will be turned over. That's what this process is about.
Okay. And that's what the viewers are there to kind of watch, see how that's going, right?
Correct. That's exactly right.
So is the road finished?
The road is almost complete, not quite. So they're shooting for around April sometime in April is the goal to get it opened up. So.
And we'll find some more about the naming and how that road will work, right?
That's exactly right. There's a process we have to go through, so that's what we're doing now.
Okay. And so that's the new road down there. But also you had, I believe you had some other roads that were named as well, that Keith Brock, because they're going through a process there as well. Tell us a little about that. I know at each meeting for the past several meetings there's been discussion on naming of roads, and that has to do with E911 reasons, is that correct?
That's correct, Gary. They're having some roads that even if there is a misspelled word in the title of the road, they're having to correct all those, and that's what Keith and Sharon Browning are currently working on. So when we do go live with this, that everything's correct, rather than trying to correct it before we go. It's a lot easier to do it now, and they've found several discrepancies in the spelling of roads, several different issues with that, and they're trying to get all those addressed before we go live with that.
And also, if there is a road that has never been named before, they have to come up with a name, correct?
Every building in Marion County, almost, if it's something that people are going to be going to, they're trying to, just like at Maker's Mark, for instance, if they have a building that is on their property that have people in it, we're trying to address every building that, in case an accident does happen, that we'll be able to find them. That's the main thing for this E911.
So for E911, we've been talking that for years with the past several judge executives as well.
Exactly.
So when is it actually going to be implemented here in Marion County?
That's a good question, Gary. We're working every day to get it live, as they call it. Our rate as far as that we have to be at, we've already met it. What's happened is we've kind of got behind a couple other counties and they've jumped ahead of us. So we should. It's just a matter of getting equipment installed, and I hate to put a date on it, but it looks like around July is what I've been told. So
we're months away, hopefully.
Months away, I hope. Exactly. They were trying to get it done before the end of the year. John G's real familiar with the whole process, and he's been a big help with me continuing on with it. So hopefully, it's kind of, we're waiting on them to set their end up so we can go live.
Okay. Now, any other business that was discussed yesterday that we need to share during your meeting on March the 5th?
Not that I'm aware of, Gary. Nothing major. Everything seems to be going good. Like I say, the main focus was on the roads and conditions of the roads. Emergency management's been doing a lot of extra work too. I want to thank them for what Hayden Johnson, Robbie Turner, and the Sheriff's Department, they've all been a great help for us the last few days. So we did have some wage adjustments for some county employees. We did have that. It was a good thing for them. So
a wage increase for some of the
an increase and a kind of a scale is what we put everybody on. So
you've been talking about that, trying to kind of make kind of an equal level there for all the different employees at some point. County employees. Right?
We've had a couple committees actually consist of 2 magistrates and myself. I've met with every magistrate on this issue, and we've all agreed that's what needed to be done. So we did get that put in place this week. So that's a good thing.
Well, again, I've been talking with Marion County Judge Executive David Daugherty about the fiscal court meeting, which occurred on Thursday, March 5th. It's been Gary White for Central Kentucky Television.